Hello, bro. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I would like to discuss basically where I used to be in a rut for the past 2 years since I believe it was back in like at the end of 2023 and till like early 2025. Um, yeah, almost like 2 years basically. What happened is that I used to be in a relationship back then in 2023, and I was doing wonderful before that relationship. And I got into self improvement when I was around 16 years old, like grinding it super hard. And I knew these concepts of the red pill, dopamine detox, and fitness, and talking to girls, and a bunch of stuff within self improvement. And I was very consistent and for 2 years straight. And I was progressive overloading my skills. I was adding meditation, journaling. I was already exercising before those two and improving my skills with and speaking to girls, flirting, and being more of a leader and doing deep work sessions and so on and so forth. And I got into a relationship. That was actually my first relationship when I was in my beginning years of self improvement, and it lasted for almost a year. That relationship, I learned a lot from it. And when I broke up with that girl, honestly, it didn't really matter to me that much because I already knew she wasn't really high quality. She was doing a bunch of bad habits, and me as an ambitious man trying to achieve massive things in life, we were just not compatible. Or no, we were not compatible for each other. So I broke up back in May 2023, and I don't know if you relate, but you know like this concept of the breakup games, where basically you break up with a girl and you start making huge progress in not only at the gym but like in all areas of your life. That's what basically happened to me, and I have said basically quite a lot. Let me stop. I was doing fantastic. I was grinding it for 4 hours of deep work sessions and meditating for 30 minutes a day, doing a bunch of journaling, going out for 1 hour, even 2 hour walks in nature. I was doing fantastic. Then I get into another relationship, because when you are leveling up in life, becoming more attractive, becoming better in different areas of life, you become naturally attractive to the opposite gender because, one might naturally they want someone who's better than them. Uh, that's basically it. Damn it, I said basically. Again, um, it was nice, the relationship that I was in, and then it just went downhill. I'm not gonna go into the specifics, the details, sorry, of the relationship, what specifically happened. It's just that it was a very toxic relationship, and we ended up splitting away. But the problem was already within the relationship, and is that I hit the plateau. I was prioritizing her before and my goals, my mission, and I could have been greater by now if I didn't do that sacrifice just because of a little cramp of pussy, and attention from a random girl, my baby girl. And I wasn't meditating as hard. I wasn't doing all of the things that I used to do back then. So we break up, and I developed what is called one-itis. One-itis is, I think, is that how it's called? Yeah, where basically you make that girl your everything. Oh yeah, we're gonna get married. We're gonna have children. Blah 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 blah. And I was saying that when I was 17 or 18 years old, I think. So imagine, like, oh yeah, we're gonna be married, and we're gonna have a lot of children, and we're gonna move in nature, like in, I don't know, in Scotland or whatever, Sweden. I don't know. I don't really remember what places we were talking about. Um, you already know that it wasn't like it wasn't the right path, like developing one night is for a girl. Because what happens when you lose your everything? You might become even suicidal, you know. So yeah, yeah, like after the breakup, I was kind of like of a broken man, not because of her, but because of myself, like taking 100% accountability of my actions. And I basically got lost of the path that I used to be, you know, because if you don't constantly remind yourself, work on it, just like at the gym, for you to keep making gains, you gotta go consistently. I wasn't doing that with my self improvement. So I hit a massive, massive plateau and degradation of my character. But the good news are that I implemented a couple of things, a couple of strategies and techniques that I would like to discuss in here that helped me a lot to get out of the rut that I used to be for the past 2 years, 2020, mid 2023 to beginning of 2025. So the first thing that I implemented was a mindset, and it's just progressive overload. You probably have heard this in concept at the gym, where basically if you want to keep making more gains, you either increase the reps, the weight, or improve the technique. And that's very important. You know, something to keep in mind about life is that life by default is hard mode. If you are not consistently leveling up in life, you will start to lose experience, you know, like kind of like in video games, experience. So if you want to become better and better, you have to, you know, progressive overload. Let's say if you were consistent meditating, I don't know, 5 minutes every single morning for the past 2 weeks, it's time to increase it like either a minute, or if you have the capacity to even increase it 5 minutes more, instead of meditating 5 minutes, you meditate 10 minutes. Same thing for other aspects of your life, relationship, money, leadership, so on and so forth. And the second thing that I implemented to get out of the rut was making a daily routine. And this one is very, very important because I don't know if that has happened to you, but that it happens to me a lot. That where basically I don't have something written down of the things that I'm gonna do for the day. You know, my brain comes with excuses. For example, I have to, let's say that I have to, I don't know, like do my deep work session of the day. Yeah, I have to do it for the day, but I didn't specify the time. So my brain will cope during the day, you know. Yeah, I gotta do the deal work session, but I'm gonna do it later after breakfast, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna do it after breakfast. You know, I will have then more energy, blah blah blah, and then I will do. I promise I will do it. Then it comes the time, you know, I finish breakfast and finish washing the dishes, and then my brain comes with another cup. Oh yeah, you know, but like we're a little bit full, you know, because we ate a little bit more of carbs than usual. So I'm gonna just take a break for 30 minutes, you know, just rest a bit, taking a nap, and then I will have all the energy that I need, you know, the mental sharpness. Then the time, you know, hits, and you know, the brain comes with more and more excuses. But when you have a daily routine, however, and you have specifically written down all the things that you gotta do for the day, for example, 5 a.m. wake up, 5:10 meditate, five I don't know, and 20 brush your teeth. When you have all of those things written down at what time you're gonna do it, you will not have any excuses because you will know that you are just coping around. And let's say that at 5 a.m. You gotta wake up, and well, let me come with this one. Let's say that at 1 p.m. you gotta go to the gym. your brain may come with the idea of, oh no, but let's go and hit the gym at 3 p.m. Because I just don't feel like it. No, but that's not part of the plan. You already have it written down that you gotta go to the gym by that specific time. So yeah, making a daily routine is very important so your brain don't come with excuses. Everything is planned. The third thing that I implemented, and this is more of a, I wouldn't call it mindset, but I will say like emotional awareness. No, no, no. Like being aware of your thoughts, of your copes specifically. I was already talking about the copes, yeah, how your brain can comes with and coping, and coping basically is just a lie that you tell yourself about something that you know that is bad, but you still, you may engage on it or not. For example, you can come up with a quote as I was mentioning, not going to the gym at the time that you have to go, and that's where usually the rut will start. It always starts with these quotes, yeah. I'm not gonna go to the gym because I feel, quite tired. Oh no, I'm not gonna meditate this morning. I'm gonna meditate later at the evening, because I gotta just do some other things. I will do it later. You will always come with a justification about the things that you gotta do, but you will never say to yourself, I'm not gonna go to the gym today because I'm acting like a little bitch. I'm not gonna meditate because I'm a lazy piece of garbage. You're never gonna say that to yourself, yeah, because of ego. You're never gonna say that to yourself. But that's basically what you are doing. And that's basically what I was doing. So you gotta understand your copes, because life basically goes like this: up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. It's not like a linear line, kind of like in video games when you are leveling up. But the key thing is when you're about to hit like a rut, if you can recognize the spot, in this case I'm talking about the coast, when you recognize the coast that you are coming up with, you can actually stop the rut and keep leveling up. So just being aware of your copes. That's why the daily routine is very important, because when you have everything planned, you can recognize the copes, because these things are not things that you plan. So you can tackle them down. Now the fourth thing that I implemented, and this is very important, this is actually a mindset, and it is killing your ego. I already mentioned that I used to do like I was very into my self-improvement journey, meditating 30 minutes a day, doing a bunch of journaling, and working doing my deep work sessions for 4 hours straight pretty much every single day. So that kind of becomes your character, your personality, let's say. But what happens when you are in a rut? When I was in a rut, like your ego stays there, but not necessarily your ego goes along the reality and the circumstances you are going through currently. What I mean is that I wasn't making a lot of progress back then. When I was trying to come back to be more productive, let's say to do my usual 30 minutes of meditation, and I was in a rut for the past like a month already. I will try to come back to meditate, but I will go with this thing of, yeah, I gotta meditate in 30 minutes. And it was hard doing it. Why? Because I'm not used to do that thing anymore. I'm not used to meditate for 30 minutes. I have been skipping it for a month. So what do you think it will happen? When I told myself that I have to go to meditate for 30 minutes, I will go with the copes and copes and copes, and I will then do it for the day. It wasn't until I recognized, wait, you remember the mentality of progressive overload, Leonardo? We can actually implement that. And instead of doing the things that I used to do, what if we deload? I know that I was consistent meditating for 30 minutes. What if I try meditating for 5 minutes instead? Oh no, but but I'm not at that level. I'm not at that level. That was like few years ago when I used to be in that level. I don't have to meditate for 5 minutes because it's just too easy. That's the thing. You gotta kill your ego. I had to kill my ego so I could become like I could come back to where I used to, where meditating 30 minutes. It's just like you have like an injury. It's just I want to come back with the analogy of the gym. It's like you have an injury. Let's say doing bench press, you kind of injure your elbow. You are not able to do a bench press of 100 kilograms because of the injury. Will it be intelligent? Let's say that this random guy that has the injury, yeah, he used to bench press, used to do a bench press of 100 kilograms. That he does it again, no, it will be very stupid. He will injure himself even worse. What would be the best idea? That he deloads the weight that he was used to. Instead of benching 100 kilograms, let's start with the empty bar and let's see how it feels for him. Oh yeah, I don't know. It feels like all right. I can do a little bit more. Let's put 20 kg, and you see that he's a little bit struggling. He's going to failure. All right, that's the sweet spot. And then the next week we try to add the 2.5 kg weight, and through progressive overload he will come back to bench press, to do a bench press, sorry, of 100 kilograms. So if when I incorporated this mindset, even though it killed my ego, I did progress. Like, bro, I came back to meditating 30 minutes again within 4 weeks, a month again. I was like, I started with meditating 5 minutes. Then the next week, I was adding 5 minutes, 5 minutes more, and so on and so forth until I was meditating 30 minutes. That was crazy. Like honestly, it was crazy when I thought about that, and I implemented that same mindset for other aspects of my life. And the last two things that I want to talk about what were the things that I implemented to get out of a rut. And the fifth one was and one step at a time. I already talked about this concept on a previous video that I've recorded, which is titled like how to work harder. And the thing that made me to work harder 100 times. And it's just the mindset of one step at a time. When you start the day and you gotta do a bunch of things, you kind of like fatigue yourself and overwhelm yourself actually about all of the things that you gotta do. Let's say that you have to go to the gym, yeah, and you gotta do legs, and most of us guys don't like hitting legs. I really don't like legs, but I still do it. When I feel quite, like overwhelmed about, man, I gotta do legs. This is gonna be boring. I'm actually skip today, and then tomorrow I can just do arms. And then I just come back with this mindset of, wait, hold on. But I don't have to go to the gym right now. I just have to get myself ready. In fact, I don't even have to wear my clothes right now. I can just put my earplugs and listen to the music that I like. Okay, a little bit motivating. All right, let me prepare my bottle of water. Just to hydrate myself and doing the sections when I'm at the gym. Okay, we're done with that. Now we can actually go and put my clothes in. All right, and grab all of the things that I need and put it on my back. All right, okay. Now the next thing that we're gonna do, we don't have to go to the gym. I just have to leave my house first, and then like look it down. And then okay, now I have to go to the gym. All right, I'm walking down the gym. Okay, I got at the gym, and I don't have to work out yet. What I need to do is to do my stretches, like to warm up a little bit. All right, okay, I finished warm up, and now I can finally start and hitting legs. And by the time you are hitting legs, bro, you already feel like energetic, motivated. It's just one step at a time. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with, oh yeah, I gotta do all of these things. Like one step at a time really helped me a lot, like to make things easier. Basically, instead of like looking at one big problem, I could just break it down into little problems and just tackle them down one by one. And the last thing that I would like to discuss about, just to not make this video any more longer, it's already 19 minutes. It is making a daily tracker. A daily tracker is how you call it? A behavior tracker. Or basically like in a journal, let's say like in this one, you write down all of the habits that you gotta do, And this one can actually give you a lot of motivational pressure for you to do the things and that you gotta do for the day, or at least it was how I felt when I implemented this. Let's say that I have a bunch of habits to do for the day: meditate, journal, gym, deep work, read, learn French, so on and so forth. Instead of like keeping them down in my head, constantly thinking about them, I could just like write them down in my journal. And some people can actually do it on their phones with their like notes app. But me personally, I'm more of a old fashioned type of guy, and I like journaling. I really love writing. So I will do like a checkbox of the things that I gotta do and for the day, like May 1st, put all of the habits that I gotta do, and then May 2nd. And this can work as a double-edged sword. Um when I have been consistent doing all of the habits of the day, I feel motivated. I feel like, damn, bro, like, all right, I've been motivated, like doing all of the habits that I gotta do. Like, this feels fantastic. But when I have missed a couple of the habits for some things, maybe I was like coping, I think like a little bitch, or I was quite busy for the day. I had to like travel. It could be whatever, honestly. It can work as a system of to put pressure on me. Like, holy shit, like I missed the habits that I, like for today. Let me make sure that this doesn't happen the next day. And when I see, like all the blank things that I didn't check, they put pressure on me. So it has really helped me a lot in making this behavior tracker. And that's pretty much it. These are all the things that I implemented to get out of abroad from the past 2 years. And I hope that this works for you.